All right, y'all. I've got all the main caps off, all the rod caps off, and this thing is ready to be pulled out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one bolt on this end. I'm going to leave this upper bolt on this end, and I'm just going to put a ratchet strap like that and hook it to that chain right here, and it'll come out. It is heavy, that's for sure. But let me show you what the rod bearings look like. So all the rod bearings, this one's got some scars right here, a little bit right here. That one's stuck on the bottom of the cap. I didn't feel like taking it off. But they're all in really good shape. There's nothing wrong with these rod bearings. I almost wish I could just reuse them, but I already bought new ones. So there's no reason to reuse these used ones when I have brand new ones. But even the even these things, I can't remember what they're called, backlash shims, even they're, I don't think that's the correct terminology, but whatever, even they are in really good shape. This is the block side. This side don't have any contact with anything moving, but these things are in really good shape. But the new kit comes with them, so might as well reuse them. But here's my jakes, all three of them. Here's my rocker assemblies and all my injectors. So we're moving forward. But anyway, yeah, let's get to it. All right, so the crank is out, and as you can see, there's a timing gear right here. This is the timing gear on the crank that runs everything on the front of the block. So it had to come off of this crankshaft, and it needs to go on the new one, because the new one, to save myself like $1,500, I just won without the timing gear on there. So we need to take and heat this one up with a torch. It's just pressed on there, and some nice consistent heat, and it'll just fall right off. That's why I have the crankshaft hanging from the forklift right now. So let's heat it up, and you'll watch it move here in just a second. You don't have to beat on it or nothing, just gravity. It'll expand far enough and it'll just fall right off. Voila, like magic. Alright y'all, so I have the new crankshaft sitting up on a brake rotor here, and that way it'll be, you know, just standing up perfectly straight. We are going to put the gear on there. You see a little slot on the other side, the keyway that's in the gear, and they have to line up with a little 1/4-inch dial pin that's on the other side. We're gonna heat it up. It don't take long. It's still a little warm, so it don't take long. Heat it up, get it hot, fall down. It still needs to go down like another 1/4 inch. It wasn't hot enough. I actually take the sledgehammer and use the butt of it right here. Try to get it down. It goes down a little bit more, but I still don't think it's hot enough. So let's get a little bit hotter, and it still wouldn't go down, so I did have to tap it some more. Didn't like tapping it, but it's the only way I can get it to go down. Just gentle, small little taps, and it goes all the way down to the little stop piece on the back side, whatever you want to call it, something. But anyway, the audio on this thing was also messed up, thanks GoPro. And yeah, you can see the lip that it's all the way down on, and you'll see a little dial pin on the old crank right here. There it is right there, that little round nub. For some reason, they don't do a whole actual keyway. It's just a little nub. I mean, it works, but whatever. It's a lot of stuff that this one gear runs. But yeah, anyway, it's on there. It's hot. It's ready to pretty much drop back in, or drop in. But yeah, that saved me $1,500 by doing that, because if you want to get the crankshaft with that gear already on there, pressed in place, yeah, an extra $1,500. Like, I don't understand quite the reason why that gear can't cost that much, and it's not like it's a hard job to do. All right, y'all, so I have already torqued the main bearing caps, number 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm going to do 1 and 3 here in a few minutes, but while I'm already doing this part, I'm going to show you the proper steps and torque specs and angle
the whole procedure for the rod bearings. So they have 4 bolts. They are 9/16 12 point, and basically you have A, B, C, and D, and then A, B, C, D, and the procedure is this right here. This is my new little toy. This is the snap-on torque wrench. I forgot the part number. I will throw it on the screen real quick. This thing was not cheap, but neither is this engine. If I was to cheap out, I didn't want to cheap out and get a Harbor Freight one, and then my luck, I get the one bad batch out of that 1,000 that was made that day. So I went ahead and got a snap-on. It was $700, but $700 ain't nothing when, if I had to replace this engine, you're looking at like 20,000 on the cheap side. So I went ahead and purchased this bad boy. Plus I'm using it on all kinds of other stuff too. You know, on the truck and later down the road, because I still got the torque, the rockers and the injectors and the Jake brakes and the front cover seal and the front cover and the rear cover. All that stuff had to be torqued. So I was like, why not just go and get me a nice, decent, you know, I wouldn't say top of the line, there's probably better ones, but so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna show you the torque specs. This thing is very easy and simple to use. So the torque for these is 52 foot-pounds, give or take, I think 3, maybe 5 foot-pounds. But we're just gonna tighten these bolts up a little bit. That way I don't have to sit here and turn on them forever. Makes me feel better too. All right, so we're gonna start with A, which they're not technically any order. If I was on that side of the motor, that could be A, B, C, and D. But the step is you got A, B, C, and D, and then I'll show you, we're at 52 foot-pounds. Let's get this thing torqued. All right, so green means good. We are torqued 52.1, so pretty decent there. Oh, went a little more over, but it'll be okay. 54.2, no big deal. That was A and B, now we're on C. Let's do C. All right, so now we're on D. Let's get on up there, 80% and 52.4. Now what we gotta do is switch to angle, which I don't understand how this thing knows what angle I'm at, but you know what? I'm not gonna complain about it. Gotta put it on there and sit still, and it's gonna calibrate. All right, 60 degrees is the next step. So we got A, B, C, and D. We're on C right now. So C has to go 60 degrees. And like I said, I don't understand how this thing knows the degrees, but I ain't gonna argue with it because it seems like every single one that I've done so far, because I've already torqued 1, 2, 4, and 5 and 6 rod bearings caps. So it seems like 60 degrees gets it right about 90 foot-pounds. So we're gonna go 60 degrees. And then it will show you 84.8, so it made me a liar. But now that was C, now we're gonna go to D. All right, 60 degrees again. I went to 61 degrees, but right at 90 foot-pounds. So now we have to switch back over to torque at 52 foot-pounds and go back to A, oops, went over, and B, just to make sure that they are still within spec. Because what happens is when you torque these down in the angle, it might loosen up A and B. So now we're gonna switch back to angle for 60 degrees. We're gonna go to our 60 degrees here. You can see the orange lights. 60 degrees, 84.3. Do 60 degrees again. .60 degrees, 88.5. So now that these 4 are done, we'll take our little paint marker here, and I just basically color in like a 2-year-old. I color on top of the bolts. That tells me that these are done. So now we're going to switch to these and do the same thing all over again. All right, and that's all you got to do to torque your rod bearings. So all of them are done. All right, y'all, so the next thing I wanted to show y'all was these big bolts that holds on the main caps. So I've already got this number 1 main cap in. It is the last one I need to torque to 190. I'm gonna take the impact and run them down. That's not what you want to happen. Shoot. I'm looking for my magnet. Can I get my hand in there? Oh, I can get my hand in there. That wasn't supposed to happen. That's gonna be one of the blooper reels at the end. And it's slick and oily and I can't grab it. Oh, there it is. Well, it's so oily it's hard to grab. Mother freaker. There we go, I got it. Okay, let's try that again. Dang it, man, now I'm all oily. Okay, so what you're gonna do, is you're gonna run them down, make sure that's on the tabs that don't fall out, off. Just run them down. This is not gonna over torque them, but that way we don't have to sit here forever and worry about turning by hand. Where's the freaking notch at? There it is. Like I said, gotta set it to 190. I'm already at 190 on the torque wrench. Trying to get this where y'all can see it. All right, so all I did was tighten that one about 80. You do, the only reason why I did that is so that I know that side's held down. The side with the tab, I should have showed you, the tab on the bearing itself is on this side. You always want to do that first, torque it all the way down first. So 190. All right, and then the next one. Both of those at 190. So we are going to mark that. Take this off. Clean the oil off of it. I already oiled these and then I started the camera. But let's mark these. And now I need to mark my socket. So wherever I'm going to start is right here. So that mark is on that nub, and then we're going to go over to the second point and put another paint mark on it. So starting out here, I'm going to ugga-dug it until it's all the way to there. And that'll be my 120 degrees that is called for these bolts, and then they're done. And like I said, you always want to do the tab side first, even when you're doing the 120 degrees or the ugga-dugga. So we are going to do that now. Wrong direction. Okay, I got to pull this out. In case y'all didn't know, this thing is heavy. There it is, right there. That would be 120 degrees. So now I'm gonna do this other one. And that line lines up, and if I go any more than that, the compressor's gonna kick on and you won't be able to hear me. So I'm gonna turn you on time lapse on this other end so you can watch me tighten all of them up and get a general idea on how this works. So, you know, hold tight and enjoy the video. It is a new day. Today the motor is going back in. It is Monday, like 2:30 I think it is. And I've got the whole engine put back together. Valve are back on. All the little stuff I took off while it was out of the truck is pretty much back on. Flywheel and clutch is back in. All the little doodads back here are done. Water pump's back on. The housing for the thermostats are back in. This pulley right here is back on. And so now we're gonna put her back in the truck. So I've got to pull the truck or push the truck forward with the tractor, get it back in here. I'm gonna sweep this up real quick first though, because it's a mess. There's just dirt and stuff all over the place. And then I'm gonna hook to the almighty forklift here. As you can see, I went ahead and pulled the forks together so it won't be as sketchy as it was before. And I got my bolts here. I'm basically just gonna wrap my big chain around there and put the chain from here up and over to this one and lift it back up and stick it back in the truck. It'll take a little bit of time getting it back in because I need to kind of be tedious so that I don't mess up anything, break anything else. But before I pull it back in, I am going to take the air blower and kind of blow out just the random dirt and dust that's all in here. I should have probably went ahead and just gently pressure washed all this, but I didn't feel like doing that. And at this point, I don't want to do it now because I've been messing with a wet frame. So anyway, let's get all this stuff cleaned up. I'll be right back. Okay, so my camera just stopped again, and that time it told me it was trying to repair the file. So apparently I've got a bad SD card, or one that's in the process of going out, which means I need to go ahead and switch it around here very soon. But where was that? Oh, I won't be able to crank it today because I won't have it far enough back together by tonight when I go inside. I'll probably be out here until 9, 10, 11 o'clock. I'm gonna try to get this motor hooked back up today, and then work on transmission, getting it back in later tonight, and probably finish that up tomorrow. But I'm gonna prime the whole oil system with a little canister I'm gonna build out of PVC pipe so that it forces oil through all the bearings and stuff. My neighbor's bringing his trailer. My neighbor just, he's bringing his trailer home, I reckon. Must be something wrong with the reefer. He just did a bunch of work to it. But yeah, anyway. So I'm gonna prime the whole oil system. That way it gets oil in every nook and cranny that it's supposed to be in, and probably plus some too. Because everything, there's nothing has oil in it, like not a dang thing. I put assembly grease on everything, but that's not gonna, I mean, that's only like helping 70%. So yeah, we'll put you on time lapse so I can get to work. Ready? Let's go.
Alright y'all, thanks for watching, and this is going to be the end of this video because it's already longer than I expected it to be and longer than I have attention span for. So we're going to end it here, and the next video will be putting transmission in and getting this thing cranked up.